On this video, we're going to be discussing Think and Grow Rich, one of the most powerful and most esteemed personal development books of all time. One of my favorites. I'm going to give you my top 5 takeaways. I'm also going to share with you my favorite way on actually how to consume this to make sure that it sticks. I'm going to give you my favorite way of actually listening to the audiobook. That might surprise you, might be a little bit different way. So we got a lot of cool stuff on this video. And if you guys want a part number 2, make sure and comment part 2 down below. We'll be doing a lot more book reviews on this channel. So make sure and subscribe to this channel. And again, really want to make sure we giving the action items from each of these books, because it's great to learn this stuff, but it's even more powerful to actually take action on it. Because as one of my mentors says, is that to know and not to do is to not know. So that's why I want to give you really the action items and assignments from this book so that you can start applying it and really experiencing it in your life. So what's up, guys? My name is Nico Rapkalis. If you're new to the channel here. So one other thing before we dive into this, I want to let you know that we do have an amazing community, and we have a lot of tools and different things that are really going to help you basically take the knowledge in these type of books and apply it to your life, and so that you're consistent with it and you experience the results. Okay. But without further ado, let's get into this overview and summary of Think and Grow Rich. Now, one thing I wanted to share about this book, first and foremost, like Napoleon Hill has really become one of just like my idols, to be honest. And you know, his work has really transformed my life, but it's also transformed the lives of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions. They talk about how his work is really the source, right? It's where everything comes from, and everyone kind of stemmed their works off him because he went out there and interviewed the most successful people in the world, as Andrew Carnegie had him go out there and do. But what's the interesting thing about this as well is that this book is actually more of, they say, kind of a watered down version of this guy, which is the Law of Success. Now, this one is a big one, and if you guys do want me to do a review on this channel about this guy, would be happy to do that. Just put in Law of Success down in the comments. Now, with that said, we now know that is a really powerful book. You probably know that, whether you search for this book review or not. It's just one of the most powerful books out there on personal development, personal growth, and how to just become the best version of yourself and experience the most rewarding life there is. So let's dive into my top 5 principles and let's get to it. Okay. So one of the first things that I really got from this book is that thoughts are things. Okay. And the more that you think about how these really are things, they're not just like this ethereal thing that just disappears into the ether, but they're real. Like, thoughts are actually things. And if you can think about it as they're more like a physical form, they're just the start of the physical form. And you got to think about it as like, once you think something, it actually is created. Maybe it's not created in a physical form yet. That's because we're living in a delayed reaction. And one of the best ways that I like to explain this is that, you know, we can call it the manifestation process, and that's just the terminology that I like to use. In fact, we coin it magnetic manifestation when you use it the way we talk about inside of our community. But think about it as like thoughts, and then you nurture those thoughts, and then they become physical reality. And so our thoughts are just like a plant. When you plant a seed, you nurture that seed with water and sunlight, and then eventually it sprouts, right? It's nothing different, right? Thoughts are things, and those are the seeds that go into our mind. And when we nurture those with good emotions, which we'll talk about here in a second, that's when things actually can start turning into reality. But again, the instant that you have a thought, it actually is created. We're just living in a delayed reaction, just as much as, you know, you put a seed in the ground, it's not instantly sprouting. So it just takes a process. Okay, so that's point number 1. Number 2, burning desire is one of the most important things to really having success, is what he talks about in this book. And so what actually is a burning desire? Well, it even kind of correlates with the thoughts, the conversation around the thoughts, is that not only do you want thoughts, but you want a definite purpose, a definite chief aim of what you're going for with those thoughts. You want to focus on that, and then you have more persistence, and you keep on thinking those, and then you dive into more persistence, and you stay after it, because you're going to hit challenges all across the road. But then once you just stay persistent, and you keep on taking inspired action with that persistence, that is when things really start matriculating. But it all comes from the burning desire. And the more that you think about it, the more that you see it, and that's going to get into our next point, is visualize it and really feel it and give that auto suggestion, as he talks about in this book. The auto suggestion is speaking it out constantly, embedding it deeper and deeper into your subconscious, deeper and deeper into your subconscious, closing your eyes and visualizing it. The more that you do that, the more that you are consistent with that, the more that you're actually going to get that burning desire. It's kind of like this self-fulfilling prophecy. It just continues to come back, like almost like a boomerang. So the more that you stay consistent, the more that you think about it, the more that you close your eyes and see all the things, like if it's a bank account number, okay, what are you doing with that money after you accumulate it? Are you taking it to the bank? Are you taking that money out of the bank and putting it in a checking account? Or are you going and buying your favorite car? Or are you putting it in a different fund? Or are you going out there and investing in your business? Whatever it is, you really want to get clear on that, because the more that you do that, it's actually you're visualizing, and the brain cannot differentiate what is real and what is vividly imagined. Okay, what is the mind cannot differentiate what is real and what is vividly imagined. Okay, that's one of the most important things that I've ever come to discover. So the more that you visualize, the more that you actually feel it, the more it's actually coming real. Just like what we talked about, the instant that you have the thought, it becomes real. But the more often that you have that thought, and the more that you dive into your mind, and the more that you speak it out, the more it actually is becoming real, therefore increasing your burning desire. When your burning desire increases, your persistence increases, your inspired action increases. So it's just a continual loop, and it's this self-fulfilling prophecy, as I said. Okay, so with that being said, is we've created one of the most powerful tools, and we just launched this inside of our community. So if you are not inside of the community, we have an amazing tool. It's called Vision Espresso, and basically takes a lot of these concepts and just what I was explaining, the visualization, the auto-suggestion, and it's a 5-minute audio track from your future self telling you how amazing your life is and how it's all created, and it's got emotional tunes on the background so that it gets you in your feels, and it's all based on your vision. We ask you 5 specific questions, you answer them audibly, and bada bing, bada boom, we put it in our system. You have a 5-minute audio that's in your voice that is something you can listen to every day, and that's that repetition, just as we were talking about. So we talk a lot about that. Links will be down in the video description if you want to check more about Vision Espresso. It's literally the most powerful personal development tool on the planet, and it's literally just taking the concepts of this book and compile it down to your own audio that you can listen to every day, that's integrated with your phone, and you can just listen to 5 times a day. That's usually the amount of times that I listen to it. So, but with that said, number 4, one of the most favorite things, and this kind of comes more into the do conversation. So we, a lot of times with, Just Grow and everything that we're creating in our communities, we talk about woo, and then we talk about do. And so woo is like more of the mindset stuff and visualizing and auto-suggestion and even meditating. And that gets into a different conversation. We'll review books around that, like the Surrender Experiment, Untethered Soul, Becoming Supernatural. All those are a lot more on the woo side, and that's imperative. Just like what we talked about on this video, is that you have to have that foundation. You get to have that foundation, and that's what really helps you significantly, right? But then then we come over to the do side. After you have a really good foundation with the woo, that you are grounded, that you're present, you're clear on what you want, you remind yourself of that daily, you're visualizing, you're using auto-suggestion, all those things, your persistence comes up, and just continues to elevate. Once you have that foundation on the woo side, you want to get more into the do side, okay? And that's more like the strategy, the plan of action, the actual implementation. And so one of my favorite things from this book in terms of the do side is actually specialized knowledge and the mastermind. And so, I think that's where some of these like personal development books can get a bad rap, if you're just simply relying on visualizing and thinking about it and getting clear on what you want. Although that is 90% of the battle, right? You still have to take more of a do approach so that you can actually take action and actually go at experiencing results. It's almost just like the next step, but a lot of people can get caught up in just constantly thinking about things and not really taking much action, which is not going to be beneficial whatsoever. Okay, so with point number 4 is that it is specialized knowledge and the mastermind. I want to combine these two together because I thought they're really powerful together. So specialized knowledge is just what is a skill that you're getting incredibly proficient at that you can offer as a service, right? When I first started my online career, I got really good at driving traffic and affiliate marketing. And then I transferred that skill, and I wanted to learn how to drive traffic for other companies. And so I started creating agencies, YouTube ads, Instagram ads, Facebook ads. I got really proficient at that. Then I got really proficient at speaking. And then I started speaking. I started a podcast, as you guys have probably noticed if you checked out any of the podcasts on this channel. Go check it out. We have I think over 110 at this point. But every step of the way, I kept on increasing my specialized knowledge, which is my skill. So always think about that skill that's actually going to take you to the next level, whether that's communication, whether that's marketing, whether that's sales, whatever it is. I mean, it could be pottery. Like it really just depends on what is that you want to do. And again, if you have any questions about that, or you want any support, obviously join our community. We help out a lot with that type of stuff. But it's really important that you specialize in something so that you become more valuable, because just as take the example of a general practitioner versus a brain surgeon, the brain surgeon gets paid a lot more because they have specialized knowledge that is something that isn't as common as a general practitioner. So it's really important to elevate your specialized knowledge and your skills so that you can really become more valuable in the marketplace. And on top of that, with the mastermind, it's really, really valuable to just get around the people that you want to be like. And ultimately, we are the average of the people that we spend the most time with. People say it's like 5, but whoever you're spending time with, you're going to become the average of them. So if you want to elevate your life, get around people that are having the type of success that you want, and getting really good at connecting with people. And again, that's a lot of the things that we talk about in our community as well, because I've become very proficient at connecting with people. People constantly are asking me, how do you fill up rooms of 100, 200 people? And it's because I've just gotten really good at building relationships and connecting people. But that's such a powerful skill set, is to just learn how to figure out how to get around the right people and connect them, and they'll want to be around you, and it's just going to continue to elevate your life. Okay. And number 5, so we're done with the specialized knowledge and the mastermind. So point number 5 that I wanted to share on this video is sexual energy. And so this is kind of an interesting one, right? You wouldn't necessarily, I guess I didn't necessarily think about it before I read this book, about how sexual energy would be something that they're going to be talking about in this book, but they talk about how that is the most potent energy there is. And a lot of guys specifically, they deplete that energy, and they're just constantly giving that out. And I heard a metaphor a while back, is like, if you were driving a car and it just was constantly spilling leaks, like how efficient would it be, right? So think about that from this stance, is that like really harness that and hold that in as much as you can. And that comes as you get older, where you have more self-control. But the more self-control that you have in that category, you're going to have more potent energy that you can apply and transmute into your work, into your vision, into your mission, the things that you set out and you visualized. You're going to be able to have that energy to take the inspired action. If you're just consistently depleting that area of your life, you're going to just lower that energy, and your car, your metaphorical car, is not going to be running as smooth, and you're going to have to go get checkups, and it's not as ideal. So those are the 5 takeaways that I had for Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And as mentioned, I want to talk about how I actually consume this book to get the most out of it. Okay. What I actually do, obviously I have the physical copy, that's important, but what I also do is I listen to the audiobook, right? And one of the coolest places that you can listen to audiobooks now is on Spotify. I don't know if you knew this or not. I just found about this recently, but as long as you have a premium account, which I feel like most people do because they want to listen to music, is they actually have all these audiobooks on there as well. And so what I do is I get the physical copy. I also listen to the audiobook at the same time. And it's not only can I increase the speed, it goes up to, I think, a 3 times speed on Spotify. But then I'm also reading this, and it's a really quick way to really go through the information, but also retain the information. And then I always like to share some of my knowledge and understanding of the book with a friend, because again, to know and not to do is to not know. And so the way to do, it's like a version of doing, is you actually teach it to someone, because the way you learn something is you teach it. The only way to teach it is to truly understand it and learn it. So those are kind of my strategies for actually retaining this information, and then therefore going and taking action on it. Okay. So that's the gist of the Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I truly appreciate your time. Hopefully those tips are things that you can actually take action on, and that's the whole point of these videos, is we want you to take action on this information and not just, mentally masturbate, as they talk about. So go take action on that. If you guys want to learn more about Vision Espresso, how we basically take the concepts in this book and just apply it down into a 5-minute audio that you can be very clear on where you're going, and then you can remind yourself of that, and you can harness visualization, auto suggestion, and just seep that deeper and deeper into your subconscious. Hit the links down below. Join our community. It's a powerful community of hundreds of people and a lot of entrepreneurs that are just thinking really highly and wanting to be the best version of themselves. Okay, so thank you for watching. Again, let me know if you want a part 2, because I have a lot more information I want to share on this. Let me know if you want me to do the Law of Success. Let me know if you have any other suggestions of books you want me to review. But thank you for watching this video. Make sure and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.